Oh, that's how it starts up too. Beginning. Not the.
Just kind of. No. It's like, I don't know, they copyrighted it or something. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Mayor Tyler Moore Show here on the Kokomo Post. My name is Drew Larison. This is MTM. This show is partnered with Robert Miller and Son Furniture.
That it is.
Mr. Mayor, how are you?
Doing great. Coming off a nice long weekend, beautiful weather. So hopefully everybody got out and enjoyed it. We obviously took last week off because of Labor Day.
We did.
So thanks for everybody for, I guess.
Well, they're
through
fine.
That.
They're fine.
It's Labor Day.
Yeah,
but
they're okay.
But no, yeah, it's beautiful. Thanks to all those that came out and enjoyed the Touch a Truck event at Inventrek Technology Park. This is the fourth time I think that it's been held, and it gets a little bigger every year. That's additional participants as well. State Police had, I think, everything, every piece of equipment that they could. I mean, just a single one. I mean, they didn't bring in all their cars, but everything but their helicopter. I mean, so it was awesome. Kokomo School Corporation participated for the first time this year.
Nice.
A few others had a couple of food trucks. I mean, so it's really turned out to be a nice event. So thanks not only to those in and around the community in the area that came to enjoy it, but specifically all those that participated, our first responders, our city workers, businesses, schools and such that brought something out for kids of all ages to enjoy.
A lot of trucks you can touch. That's always a fun event. Mm-hmm. Before we get into things today, let's give a shout out to Robert Miller and Son for being the partner. The clock is ticking, and so are the savings. Robert Miller and Son's 70th anniversary sale is almost over right now. Take 30% off everything in the store. Sofas, sectionals, recliners, mattresses, and more. For 70 years, we've been serving Kokomo with comfort and quality you can trust. Now it's your last chance to celebrate with us and save big. Don't wait. The anniversary sale ends soon. Shop Robert Miller and Son today before it's gone. Happy birthday, Robert Miller and Son. I've been saying this, and a lot of people in the comments have been playing along. If you're watching, which there are some people watching, appreciate you coming in this early in the show. Wish a happy birthday to Robert Miller and Son in the little comment section there. It's always fun. Put some emojis, little birthday cake, little candle, celebration emojis. Those have been fun to see. So if you're watching, wish Robert Miller and Son a happy 70th birthday in Kokomo. Crazy. 70 years is so long.
They don't look a day over 60.
What's going on at City Hall this week?
Oh, excitement, as we'll probably find out in a lot of the questions. So we're down to the tail end. We've got the budget together and ironed out. That'll go before council basically 3 times. So it'll do first reading tonight. It'll be public hearing at the next meeting, and then approved finally on second reading, the third meeting in that sequence. But also looking at a trash fee. I mean, doing the first reading for that tonight. So I know there's comments on that, and we've been getting a lot of emails and more comments on social media than emails. So that's what's been going on. But also at the same time, as you can tell if you follow the city's Facebook page, a lot of road closures. We're taking advantage of this nice weather and trying to knock out as many stretches of streets and alleyways we can while working with the utility companies if they're in and around areas as well. So just trying to get things done while the weather is still decent. Won't really aggressively get into limb and leaf pickup again until closer to the mid to the end of October into November, which we do every year. So folks, if you're putting stuff out, it probably won't get picked up right away unless it becomes a safety issue for traffic. But if they're out, just know that they'll be there probably on into October, unless specific trips or requests are made. So that going on as well. I believe, and unless somebody's been out there, we'll hear first. The water meter has officially been approved and placed at the splash pad at Jackson Morrow. The splash pad at Jackson Morrow should be tested and on tomorrow, just in time for a beautiful weekend. I think looking ahead at the weather, there's a lot of things going on in town, but the splash pad down at Jackson Morrow should be open later on this week and on into the weekend. So excited to finally have that approved and on and ready for folks to enjoy before it starts getting too much colder.
Friday, 86 and sunny. Saturday, 84 and sunny. Sunday, 87 and sunny. That's good splash pad weather.
Stop by and check it out.
Love that. People have been waiting and excited for that.
Yep.
Love to see it. Very cool. Awesome. Anything else going on?
No, I think that's enough. Just so we can catch our breath and then get into the next week.
Very cool. Love that. Also, Chick-fil-A is like officially broken ground.
Yeah. So a lot of dirt moving out there. Yep. I know it might be some questions too. The soccer season's in full swing, and Kokomo Soccer Club's using both locations, the Hatchet Fields where they currently and have been for 30 years, out of the graciousness and goodness of Haynes International, allowing them to use that field in their parking lots for free for, again, close to 30 years. They're developing on that. And so it's Haynes expanding their current footprint, $170 million investment on their site there, which will include that. And so we're looking for a new spot, new home for the rec division fields for the Kokomo Soccer Club. So we're working with those folks, but a lot of their travel ball is at the Walkout Soccer Complex that is there where Berkeley tees into Markland across the street from the jail. So they've been utilizing that a little more, which is great to see. So working through that.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay. Let's get into today's questions. Hey. If you are watching live, which there's 21 of you in there right now.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to the show. If you have a question for the mayor, drop it down below. We do have over 20 pre-show questions again this week. So hopefully if you asked the show earlier today or from last week's show or from clips that we've posted, you're here watching to hear your answer because we've pulled all of those questions. Leave it down in the chat below. That's why I have my laptop out, and we will be pulling those questions over to ask live. A lot of questions on one topic today. So let's talk about that first. Okay. We have questions from Jessica, Vicky, Hannah, Eddie. I think she's asked twice, but it is about the $10 fee being added to the wastewater bill. And I'm just going to quickly read through these questions and then we can talk about it and give you some space to talk about the topic. So Jessica, are you really going to propose to the council adding another $10 to our wastewater bill as a trash fee? If so, why? And where will the money go? Vicky would also like to know where the extra $10 trash fee will go. Hannah had a question about minimum wage is still $7.25 in Indiana. People are struggling as it is with inflation and high taxes already. And they're taking away the recycling of the South Branch Library, but you still want to implement a $10 trash fee. That's whack. She is saying vote no. Eddie is also asking about the $10 trash fee. And then also Jessica asked again about the trash fee being added to the wastewater too. So let's talk about this. This is not the first time this topic has come about. When was it? Around 6 months ago or maybe even longer than that?
It was probably about 8 months ago because it was in November. And so there wasn't a lot of information. I mean, the timing was off or was poor on my account or on our account. Getting it to council, there wasn't a lot of additional information. I mean, we kind of heard rumblings what was happening or being proposed down at the state legislature. But knowing that we were entering into contract negotiations with our ASME employees and such, we wanted to take advantage of that and get that on the books to start not only to provide additional revenue for employees, but to additional revenue specifically for our trash department, which is the street maintenance and refuse, which the same department not only manages the trash collection with a handful of crews, but also street maintenance with paving and everything. And they're in desperate need of new equipment, the lightning loader, trash trucks, the automatic armed trash trucks, dump trucks and such. I mean, there's been a struggle. I mean, just like we've been trying to address with our police and fire departments with their aging equipment, the same with the street and refuse department. And so I think the timing was poor last time, and there was a handful of council members that didn't feel that we gave them enough information and in preparation for it. Well, since that time, obviously we've seen what's come out of the state legislature and what's being proposed out of Senate Bill 1, the reduction in the potential revenues that municipalities will receive, and obviously Kokomo being one of those municipalities. I mean, the schools are going to struggle as well as townships and others. But outside of that, the quick fix or the way to offset some of the potential revenue losses as costs continue to increase. I know folks have said that. I mean, the cost of gas has gone up, the cost of food, bread, eggs, everything, has gone up. Well, the city, it's not exempt from that. I mean, it's the same thing that we're working at. And so seeing that other communities have instituted that trash fee, we saw that as kind of a low-hanging fruit in order to collect that, and that trash fee will go into a specific account dedicated to trash service. So it will, those funds, will go towards a rotation of equipment replacement. I just talked about the trucks and such, and we get those on a more regular rotation with the number that we have. It also allows us to, just as in the first responders, allows us to compensate our street and trash employees, our AFSCME employees, in a manner that will attract and retain those employees, because a lot of them either hop departments or can make more in the private sector. And so as a way to, again, not only attract but also retain those employees, and to give them a little more love than what the minimum wage, I think is one of the comments had listed in there. And because it's being collected as part of the wastewater utility bill, it's just for cost savings and ease in billing. I mean, it's not being collected as part of the wastewater utility and going into a wastewater utility account. I mean, it's spread out or split out just as other items in the utility. It's just for ease in collection, so that it, again, reduces the amount for additional mailings and such. And so the invoice that folks will get each month, that like they currently do, will just have that trash fee included in just for ease, because a lot of folks pay that online. Have it automatically withdrawn from an account. I mean, so that's why it's being collected through that manner. And just as was proposed before, there will be discounts available for those that have certain exemptions already filed with the property taxes. I mean, if you're over 65 and income qualified, disabled veteran, so there's those opportunities that there's, if again, they're qualifying for those type of exemptions, and in some cases they're income qualified, file for those annually anyhow. We'll be monitoring those, and those will be just $5 as opposed to the $10. So it's, again, a potential revenue stream that we can see that'll be dedicated to the trash. And yes, in doing that frees up additional money in the general budget to, that typically would go to cover the street and refuse department, to allow us to continue a rotation in our fire engines and such, the equipment and needs, and additional officers for KPD, as well as additional firefighters. I mean, so there's needs that we're limited to based on the amount of revenues that come in. And I know folks are like, well, it's already in our property taxes, and we already pay enough. One of the part of the presentation tonight to council will be from our director of development that has numbers. They've taken the amount of tax revenue that single family residences in Kokomo pay collectively, and it's just shy of $8 million, I think. And then backing out that tax revenue, the amounts paid to all the other departments, or I'm sorry, to the other municipalities. I mean, so it's either the tax revenue then goes to the county or the libraries,
Sure.
recycling, all these other entities, the townships, and then leaving a certain dollar amount, again, collectively over all those residences. There's about 2,100 residences that, 21,000 residents that we pick up trash for currently. And doing that math, it'll show that roughly about $1.40 of an individual's property tax bill actually goes to trash collection.
Wow.
And so, and then the cost, and he's got this itemized out as well, showing what it costs to the tipping fees, meaning the amount that we get charged to taking trash to landfill, as well as our curbside recycling, and that's showing that and dividing that by the 21,000 households shows that it costs the city about roughly $17 and 40 cents or whatever per household for that. So showing that disparity, even asking for the $10 trash fee, taking it around $11, $12 or so. I mean, the city's still subsidizing the cost of trash and recycling collection by $5 or $6, depending on how that shakes out. So it's just a way to continue to provide the level of services, because you look at other communities and we pick up large items, we pick up leaves, we pick up limbs. So those items as part of the trash collection. So we do that already without charging the citizen. You go to any other community around us or the donut communities, you're paying to haul away large items. You're paying, for limbs and leaves, or they've contracted that out.
Yep.
And, by privatizing it, I think we did a quick little search or inquiry about the trash service, private trash services here, and they would end up charging about between $24 and $25 per household for trash pickup, and that wouldn't include large items like couches, refrigerators, things like that, or recycling, or limbs or leaves and such. I mean, so we're hoping that's hopefully they're getting more than what they're paying for.
So what do you think? Because like I said, this is not the first time this has been attempted to get passed. And what are the big changes or differences between this time and last time? I think
definitely the projected revenue losses that the city will experience in 26, 27, and even especially in 28. 28 is going to be interesting to say the least, with the amount of tax revenue, because a lot of what we receive is on business personal property tax, and with the current Senate bill increasing the ceiling, if you will, or to the threshold for which businesses don't have to pay personal property tax. Right now it's at $80,000. Next year it's $1 million. The year after that it's $2 million. So any business that has equipment valued of $2 million or less, they don't have to pay property tax or a personal property tax on it at all, which right now it's at $80,000. So anything valued over $80,000, the city, county, municipality, the townships all receive a little bit of money from those. I mean, so raising that ceiling, as well as
it's going to be less revenue as well.
The depreciation, I mean, right now is at $30,000. So even with personal property, if they depreciate it down to $30,000, you're paying at least tax on that. Well, they've removed that floor as well, so they could depreciate some of their equipment down to zero or just a few hundreds of dollars, and we're not getting any tax revenue yet. So it's really a lot of the tax implications that are coming that will seriously challenge not just Kokomo, but a lot of municipalities, a lot of townships, a lot of schools to continue to provide the services that they need. When I know that residents get up to $300 credit towards property taxes. There's again the benefits to the ceilings and floors of business personal property tax and such. So this is one way that the state legislature, as they introduced Senate Bill 1, said, okay, municipalities, well, you've got all these tools. You've got food and beverage tax. You've got an innkeeper's tax. You've got a wheel tax. You've got, trash fees. You've got building fees. I mean, so there's a whole litany of things that other communities have used that we haven't for years or ever. So this is just one we're proposing now.
Well, I mean, the next question, we're talking a lot about SB1 and like the impact of that, but like Alec Dean on Facebook, as we look towards the impact of new tax laws from the state, SB1, will you be raising our local income taxes to make up the difference? Because it sounds like the state house is not doing any really community a favor with this,
right?
Which I know we have a new governor now, Mike Braun. And he's kind of ruffling a lot of feathers right away.
Yeah.
But other than this fee, like, are there any other plans locally to help make up the difference? Because how much are we not going to be getting that we were used to be getting?
Right.
It sounds like a cluster. Not great so far.
It is. Yeah. And, and it's a challenge, and you're right. I mean, that's one of the things as we, and when I say I mean, mayors, commissioners, councilmen, school administrators, librarians, when everybody was talking to the legislature going, give more thought to this. Do you realize what you're doing and everything? I mean, one of the things they said, well, they've worked that into the bill, that you can adjust and use income tax as well. They've got different percentages. The county sets it. Sets one and the city sets one, but then there's additional ones that the county would add in that would go towards fire service or some of the other townships. I mean, so yes, that's one of the tools that our legislators are saying municipalities need to consider looking at, and have given us the tools in order to do that. I mean, so. Yeah, I mean, it may not be as drastic as to what the income taxes are now, but that is one of the, like I said, tools or resources that municipalities and other entities are being told to look at, to consider by 2028. It's not something immediate, but by 2028 to include in to help make up for revenue losses.
It's going to be interesting, right?
Not fun.
What has been, and this is, I guess, me just keep following up. I mean, obviously, Mike Braun is a Republican governor, you're a Republican mayor. Like, what is the Republican Party in Indiana like? Because I'm guessing there are a lot of other Republican mayors who are also frustrated with this. What's the communication with the state house? Usually you see frustrations like this, like when across party lines. This is all the same party. What's that communication like? Because from my standpoint, the questions I get, the answers I hear, he's kind of leaving a lot of cities out to dry with this within his first year of being governor.
Yeah,
what's communication like?
He's made a few stops at some of these cities, but no, last spring during the legislation session, I went down a couple times, one to definitely testify, but I was there along with mayors of both parties. I mean, some even that I think are classified as independent. I mean, so we were all locked arms in this, and were very frustrated, very concerned with what was going down. A lot of the communication has been primarily through the state legislatures, because again, even though the governor was proposing, I mean, it's just like me and this trash fee. I mean, it's something that I'm proposing, but ultimately, the council, will vote on it and decide, and then I, like the governor, would then either sign off on it or veto it or whatever. Yep. Because a lot of what came out of Senate Bill 1 wasn't as strict or wasn't as impactful as what the governor originally wanted, and so there's been a lot of ripples,
I imagine,
in the Republican Party statewide as a result of it.
Sure.
So
okay, Yeah, that was like 6 questions in one. So the next question is from Aaron. NDOT has been doing surveys about train travel. Could we bring that back to Kokomo? Train travel?
There's, I know that, oh gosh, it's probably been at least a decade or so. There was talk about high-speed rail. Going straight up and down 31, from Indianapolis to South Bend and such. I don't know that is still a consideration, just with all the investment that they've done in the interstate quality highways and such, because that high-speed rail would probably be astronomical, because you would have to have land acquisition all the way through from north to south. That could be costly. So it's not my understanding that high-speed rail has been discussed or is still on the table. It might have been shelved to see if.
Got it.
I mean, maybe between communities if they want to look at it, but anymore, I don't know that there's been any discussion, especially with a lot of the trail or the railroad lines being sold to cities or counties and turned into trails themselves. So,
got it. Next question is from Bree on Facebook, and she is not happy. Why is the campaign trail promises not being met? Why lie for votes when nothing good is coming? Higher prices for everything just because we built a factory plant already laying people off. Such a great investment. Now your own constituents suffer because you continue to fail your promises, yet you offer no relief to control rent or any other programs to bring better, higher paying jobs to combat these prices. But no, we're a red town with a blue EV factory. Makes a ton of sense. Have we had any deaths due to the lack of ambulances you promised? I could keep going, but these are never answered honestly. Only what doesn't make him look bad. Bree on Facebook.
Well,
not the Bree who works for the Kokomo Post, by the way. Just being clear.
Campaign trail promises. I think I've hit the majority of them, focusing on our first responders, both police and fire, working with the state and with the county and others to bring jobs. I mean, yes, there's concerns with the battery plant and its suppliers with the way things are economically across the world. But I don't recall promising to control rents. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, that in my opinion, that's government overreach. And I don't know if it was her comment or another one saying that other communities have done this. Other communities have passed ordinances to limit the amount of investment properties in particular neighborhoods. I don't know if they've gone so far as to tell the private sector what they can or can't charge for rent, unless it's through Section 8 housing and such that have federal guidelines anyhow. And I know we've talked about ambulances, a number of times over the years. Still waiting to find out where I promised to bring them back. I think because there was discussion, there was things, that there was no medic available and such, that if it warrants itself, we would bring it back. And if the fire department is in a position to have the ambulance fully staffed, we would bring it back. Last time we had the ambulance, and I know there hasn't been a lot of discussion since then, we had 122 firefighters in the department. Right now we're at 92. I mean, so yeah, if I had 30 extra firefighters, because you need at least 8 to 10 more in order to staff the ambulance, we would do that. But we're still short firefighters on trucks. Many of the trucks only have 3 firefighters, and NFPA standards that help govern and not necessarily regulate, but suggest guidelines for fire departments. Say there should be 4. There should be at least I believe 17 on an active fire. Once our department gets to the point that we can staff trucks adequately according to those guidelines, then we can, look at the additional bodies to put an ambulance in. But no, I don't recall hearing anybody dying because of the lack of an ambulance. Usually when there's a report that there's no medic available, it's not that they're not getting medical treatment or attention. It just means that once that person is stabilized, they need to get transported to the hospital, and we can't throw them on a fire truck. But they are receiving EMT services, because every single firefighter on the Kokomo Fire Department is an EMT, certified to provide that. We just can't transport. So I think the team's doing a great job with what we've got and where we've been.
Got it.
So
next question is from Dawn. And then I shortened this question. It was around like 7 paragraphs. So just for time's sake, Mayor, a recent review listed Kokomo as one of the worst cities in the state for crime. At the same time, many residents feel housing costs are out of reach, with property managers getting special deals, charging extra fees, and requiring high income levels that most working families can't meet. On top of that, we're being asked to pay more for trash service without a clear explanation, while sidewalks and other basic infrastructure continue to be neglected. How do you respond to concerns that the city decisions are not aligned with the priorities of everyday citizens? Dawn on Facebook.
A lot of our, and that's the struggle. I mean, the priorities for the citizens, I mean, we work within our limited resources, and I think our departments do an outstanding job with what we've got. The deal with properties being sold higher, property managers charging higher for rent. I mean, that's unfortunately, as we've talked about it before, it's a problem of supply and demand. With the amount of workers that were here building the factory plant or the battery factory and the suppliers, there was a need for housing. The workers that were in to set up the lines and such, they needed housing, and because housing was scarce, unfortunately, these either not necessarily the hotels, but those that had apartments, that had rental houses and such, were able to charge higher rents, and were getting that money because the supply was so low.
Sure.
So as we continue to add housing in Kokomo, which we've got a number of developments, apartments in process, single-family home subdivision on the south end, as well as we continue to add those and increase that supply, we'll start seeing rents level out and hopefully reduce a little bit. So it's just supply and demand. As for the crime, I'm not sure what list she's got. For the last 3 years at least, the annual reports that the Kokomo Police Department have put out has shown a decline in many of the incidences of crime that have occurred in Kokomo. And so as we, again, continue to try to add officers and get more proactive versus reactive, we're going to continue to see those crime rates continue to drop. So,
Gotcha. Okay.
Like where we are.
She referenced some Newsweek article that we're the 10th worst city in the state for crime. I'll try to do some research there.
Yeah.
Next question is from Phil. Speaking of crime, how about stopping the violence, especially in our parks?
Okay. Yeah, as we continue to add bodies, we were starting to be proactive in the parks. We've got electric bikes that our officers can get out on. We've got a couple vehicles as well to patrol our trails and such. And so they get there as they can. But like I said, I believe that the incidence of crime throughout the city, not just in our parks, but throughout the city, have continued to drop with a lot of the proactive efforts that KPD has done in the last handful of years.
Got it. Okay. Before we continue on, let's give a shout out to our friends over at MetroNet. Attention, internet lovers. Which, if you're watching this, you probably love the internet. At MetroNet, we are all in. The price you see is the price you pay. Get 1 gig internet for just $70 a month. Whoa. Plus, sign up for today and get free installation, 0 extra fees, no rising cost, no annual contracts. Just fast, reliable, 100% fiber internet. That's blazing speed for streaming, gaming, and working from home on multiple devices with no buffering. But hurry, this is a limited offer and it won't last forever. Go to metronet.com to make the switch to 100% fiber today. Get Metronet and love your internet. Terms and conditions apply.
There you go.
Thank you, Metronet, for being a partner here for the Robert Miller and Son.
And they've been all over the city laying down fiber.
They have. That's right. Next question is from Aaron on Facebook. Hey. Back in the day, we had E&B Moore do the resurfacing for the streets in town. Why was the decision made to purchase a paving machine and not contract them to do it? Also, they do that work every day and are much more efficient should add it. So even if the price was higher to have them do it, are we really saving that much money by doing it ourselves and taking longer to do the roads? My point is that we have spent a little bit more or the same amount to just contract them to do it. And if it gets the roads done every year rather than buying a machine to have our street department do it and neglect other things that need done all year. Aaron on Facebook.
Yeah, actually, it probably does cost more to have it contracted out at times. But yes, E&B is probably the premier paving company in central Indiana, which is why they're utilized so much by NDOT. So E&B did a lot of the work, or did the majority of the work along 931, are doing work in other parts of the state. The decision to buy the paving machine predated me, but actually we have received comments and criticism from a few others asking why we don't have our crews pave more in order to do that. I guess give or take, but I think with the crews that we've got, we want to retain because we've got the equipment. A lot of times it is better to go ahead and maybe take an extra day or two for our crews to get a stretch of pavement done versus waiting a couple of weeks to get on E&B's list for them to then knock it out. So. Since we're able to do things consistently throughout the year and various areas of the city, as opposed to, again, waiting for E&B to work us in on some of their, within some of their projects. We're money ahead.
Got it. Next question is from Sean on Facebook. All he says is roads, jobs. So not a lot to talk to there. Next question is from Katie or Caddy. Sorry if I get that incorrectly. Could we get more sidewalks along South Webster, specifically in front of the new construction and Eller's Mortuary, and then past the track and field or the track field at Maple Crest, walking towards the bridge near Highland Park / Elwood Haynes Museum? I see a lot of kids walking to school along South Webster, and more sidewalks are needed. We have a bike lane, but in the winter, that is now full of snow. Katie or Caddy on Facebook.
So I mean, I know there's sidewalks kind of sporadic through there, and a lot of those are done by the development themselves. We've talked about sidewalks in neighborhoods and areas before. A lot of that is because the city doesn't already own easements along through there, and we would have to acquire those and get permission from the property owners in order to do that. So unfortunately, we just can't throw things down. But yes, in and around areas of schools, if there's opportunities to do that, we'd like to. Going south on Webster past the new development and down that direction, I'm trying to think if there may be a requirement of that new development that once they're complete to add a sidewalk to try to get a little further south, but I'd have to check. But in areas where they're needed, it's not always that easy to throw them in or install them because of those challenges.
Sure. Next question is from Laura on Facebook. The dumpster is still here, and she has a photo this time.
It's gone.
Oh.
It's gone. I drove past on my way down.
Never mind, Laura. It's taken care of. How about
Thank you for continuing to bring it to our attention, though. But yeah, somebody had mentioned that it was still there, and so I got a couple different departments poking around and found out who the owner was. And I don't know if they wheeled it behind the building, but as I was coming down here for the show, it is gone.
Got it. Okay, sweet. We do have an update, and it's gone. Yep. Next question is from Eric on Facebook. Any update on the baseball team, and are any new news about the crew car wash that was coming to Center Road? Eric on Facebook.
Baseball, we've got the lease terms ironed out and agreed. They've got that submitted to the league. So hopefully here in the next week or two, we'll have an announcement from Bullpen Ventures about the league within which they will be playing. And then that hopefully will then springboard into kind of a community outreach to help a decision be made on the new mascot and such. And so be watching for that, those updates and release leases in the news. And as for the car wash at Center Road, I haven't heard anything yet. I know it went through the process to get, I think it was already zoned appropriately, but needed some variances granted through the Board of Zoning Appeals. And so a lot of times it's just a matter of them working through logistics with either the property owner if they don't own it, or getting designs and costs and such in place. So don't have an update on that one. Sorry.
Got it. Okay. Next question from Kathy Springer on Facebook.
Hey.
Who is in charge of the beautiful hanging baskets all around Kokomo? I would like to know where they get their baskets from. Also, by the way, you're doing a great job.
Awesome.
Kathy,
Thank you,
on Facebook.
Park Superintendent Tori Rowe discovered those. Either Tori Rowe or Dave Trine, they were kind of working hand in hand. But unlike the previous ones, these have, as I understand it, reservoirs at the bottom of them, where the older ones, the previous ones, had holes in the side, and so the water and the fertilizer, were leaking out, and so there's a greater opportunity to keep that there. Also, instead of them coming out the sides, they're still coming over the top. So, kudos to our Parks Department and Dave Trine working together to discover those baskets and making the investment for that. They have looked great these last couple of years.
Got it. Next question is from Lindsay on Facebook.
Hey.
Future of Kokomo Soccer Club fields. So many kids are affected by this. Would be amazing if we would consider indoor facilities like many other similar sized cities. Soccer is the #1 sport in the world and can bring more revenue into the city if we had facilities to properly host games and tournaments. Lindsay on Facebook.
Yep, we've had comments like that. Part of it would be land on which to build, and then partnering with the right developer. But don't just never say never. Wouldn't say that it could never happen. But right now, no plans in the works right now. Would make sense if something were to develop out by Championship Park. But I know the Henke Group still owns the ground between Championship Park and the 31 bypass, and is, I'm assuming, still hoping for some commercial type, but might change their mind. So definitely something to look into, and to see what a facility like that, one, would cost and what all else it could offer.
Got it. Before we continue on to the last few questions, let's give our friends over at Azumi Japanese Cuisine a shout out. Are you craving high quality Japanese cuisine that will create a lasting memory for your taste buds?
All the time.
Get $5 off your bill when you spend $25 at Azumi Japanese Cuisine. Got a big friend group going? Bring them in and get $10 off when you spend $50. You get a discount and a full belly. I call that a win-win. From ramen to sushi, Azumi has some of the best to offer here in Kokomo, and you certainly can't forget to add a sweet bubble tea. Next time you're craving Japanese food, make sure to come into Azumi Japanese Cuisine. You will not regret it. Shout out to Azumi over by Planet Fitness in the Panda Chinese location.
That corner of the world.
Yeah. Next question is from Jessica on Facebook. What's the plans for the Meadow Bloom Dairy lot on West Sycamore Street? I see a notice of hearing sign in the lot.
It's my understanding a professional building that may have a doctor's office or some other professional business inside of it. It's not housing. It's not a restaurant right now anyway. I believe it's just being zoned for commercial use for a professional office.
Okay. Next question is from Angelina on Facebook. Hey. There is word the new jail is going to be built on the KSC travel fields. Is this true? A lot of parents are worried about losing our field by Haynes, and now this one too. Is there any update on the rec fields?
Yeah, so Howard County, they bought the field across the creek and trail to the west, to the old Miller property, and so the jail's going to be closer to Dixon Road there at Markland and Dixon. So the soccer fields are not in jeopardy there, and still having conversations in regards to what might be done rec-wise, whether it's investing in trying to make an area in the same location as the current soccer complex, or other fields, or looking at other partnerships for use of that ground. So more details to come.
Got it. Let's see. Next question is from Aaron on Facebook. Since the gas tower anniversary was yesterday, could we make a statue or a monument to commemorate that day? A little mini gas tower to remember the big gas tower.
I don't, because there's not a historical. The only historical marker down that direction is the one in front of the UAW hall. That's about Kokomo Stronger, but yeah, I know that the mural across the street where the tower used to stand used to have a picture of the tower on it, but. Yeah, we can look. I know Patty hosted a small replica of that was did a number of those that were made available to folks. But yeah, we can look at something to see if the gas company, since they still own the ground there, if they'd be willing to do something to give a shout out to the old tower.
I love it. Yeah. Next question is from Tony on Facebook. How does the city feel about data centers that are popping up all over?
They're interesting, good opportunities. There's concerns with the developments of those, as any industrial thing, but we would definitely, I think, entertain the idea of possibly bringing something here down with the infrastructure in, because I would assume that if a data center was looking to locate, that they would be interested in and around the battery plant suppliers and such. And so with the amount of gas, water, and electricity that's been committed to that site, that might be a good location for it. But yeah, it'd be interesting. Could be a good opportunity.
Okay. First question on live chat is from Jacob. Hey, if you're free Saturday, Mayor, we have 6 local guys fighting in an MMA tournament in Peru, including one city worker. Let me know if you want us to get you a ticket.
All right.
Jacob on live chat.
Good luck,
also,
Jacob.
Eric on live chat. Any update on the 700 block of South Webster House that was burned a long time ago?
700 South Webster.
We've talked about this one before.
Oh, yeah. I believe code enforcement was looking into it because I think they had asked about it before. So yeah, like other instances like that with fire, a lot of times the property owners are still jacking with insurance companies because they need the insurance money to pay for the cleanup and such, as opposed to us cleaning up and then leaving the property. But I'll have them look into it.
Okay.
So I know there's a few. There's one over off of Broadway near St. Patrick Church that is still needs cleaned up. And I don't know if that's still an ongoing investigation, arson investigation with that or not. But
the house on Sycamore right outside downtown that was tore down, was that just a blight removal home?
Blight removal. There's going to be a professional office put in there.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yep.
Okay. Last question. It's a fun one from Amber on Facebook.
Okay.
This is not Kokomo related. However, it is Star Trek Day. If you could join the crew of the Starship Enterprise, what role would you like to take on? Captain, science officer, engineer, doctor, or communications? I know you're a Star Wars fan, but I thought I'd toss a fun question in the mix.
Very good.
Amber on Facebook.
I guess I've never really given it any thought because, I'm more of a Star Wars fan than a Trekkie, but I'd probably want to be down as an engineer with Scotty.
Oh, there you go.
I can't give it much more.
You'd help him give it more. You'd help him give more.
Try to find more power. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes that's just all the power there is, though. You know? And that's just how it be.
But yes, but today, yes, a Star Trek Day, but it can also be or shouldn't be confused with, but could be compared to April 5th, which I think is First Contact Day, which is also similar to.
Interesting.
It's a kind of a Star Trek holiday because was the day in the movie Star Trek First Contact that was supposed to be the first time when aliens and humans actually came in contact. I think it was like in the movie was 2063 or something.
Love it.
So Star Trek has one up Star Wars, and they've got 2 official holidays. They've got Star Trek Day, September 8th, and First Contact Day, April 5th.
Got it. Well, those are the questions we had. I absolutely can believe that you know that. Those are the questions we had for today's show. If you have any questions for next week, leave it in the chat below. We'll make sure to add those to next week's question roster. Thanks for those questions today. Mr. Mayor, do you have a dad joke for us? Close us off.
Might be a little inappropriate, but
I'm excited for this.
But definitely appropriate for Star Trek Day. You know what the Starship Enterprise and toilet paper both have in common?
I know. Tell me.
You don't? They both circle Uranus and wipe out the Klingons.
There it is. That's the most potty humor dad joke I feel like we've had.
It is.
Man, I hope my kids are watching today. I'll hear that for weeks. Thanks for watching this episode of the Mayor Tyler Moore Show here on the Kokomo Post, partnered with Robert Miller and Son Furniture. Shout out to Metronet. Shout out to Izumi Japanese Cuisine for also being partners on the show with us today. If you have any questions for next week, leave them down below. I'll make sure producer Parker goes and finds those questions. We ask them live. Outside of that, have a good week, Kokomo. Enjoy the weather.
See you, Kokomo. Live long and prosper.